welcome back to the channel. My name is Joseph Carroll. I write under the pen name J.R. Carroll, and today we are getting into October TBR as well as what will be happening on the channel here in the coming month. Now, I still have some things that I might have in the works, but they're not concrete yet, so I'm not gonna kind of add those yet. But let's jump into what I'll be reading. Now, this month or October is going to be a little bit less than my previous months because I will be beginning my fifth book, and this is kind of a real pivotal book in my series, so I have to kind of pay more attention and crack down on myself a little bit with the writing. So uh, that's why I normally have between 6 and 8 things that I try to read. Today there will only be 5 books this month. The first book is going to be A Time of Contempt in the Witcher series. The Witcher is my second favorite series of all time, and we will continue doing our discussions. This discussion, as most of them have been, are going to probably be like, towards the end of the month on a Sunday. Don't have it locked down yet, but myself, Bryce from Shelf Centered, and JCM Byrne, and hopefully my friend Nathan will be feeling better and we'll jump back in on this discussion. But yeah, if you guys like The Witcher, come join us. It's a freaking crazy good time. We have all kinds of laughs and stuff, as well as kind of go back and forth on who's our favorite characters. But the next book is a book that I've been wanting to get around to a long time, because whenever you look up my book, More Than a Vampire, in the also bots, a lot of times you will see Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. Now, I don't know if that's just because people who buy buy vampire stuff just buy all the vampire stuff or all the vampire books. So I don't know how Kristoff's vampires are going to stack up to my vampires in my world, and or how his writing style is. I remember seeing a couple of the reviews about 2 years ago or whatever it's been now, and a lot of people loved it, and then some people were like, all the dude says is the F word through the whole thing. So it's a chunker, so hopefully it's good, and I don't just end up hate reading whatever's probably 600 700 page book or whatever. But yeah, hopefully it's gonna be good. You guys know I love me some vampires, so I'm looking forward to seeing how he puts his world together. And then I don't know if it was on the live with me and Sarah, or if it was one of the Witcher discussions maybe. But somebody they told me, like, hey, because they know I haven't read any Robin Hobb yet. I've wanted to get to her, and they're like, hey, you need to read it. You need to read it. So I was like, you know what? I will read a Robin Hobb book in the month of October, and so that is going to be Assassin's Apprentice. I don't know much at all about the Farseer trilogy or anything. I just know that Robin Hobb is one of the legendary female writers of all time. She's like a goddess in the fantasy world. So I'm really excited to see how this all plays out. I know people have said some of her books are huge, but apparently I think I kind of looked it up, and this one's like in the 400s, so that's perfect for me. And I don't know much about it. I'm just super excited to get to it, because this is the book that really made her kind of a household name in the fantasy world. And then we have a book series that my friend Nathan has been raving about, telling me I gotta get to it, gotta get to it. It's called Troy Rising. And so what I know about this is it has to do with, Earth being invaded by aliens, but it's not your typical invasion story. I guess there's some really fun humor, some really cool ways that our main character kind of, beats the aliens. And I guess this is kind of a long series, so it evolves a lot apparently. And I am definitely here for that. Expeditionary Force might be like my third favorite series of all time. Definitely my favorite sci-fi series. So I am down for another awesome sci-fi series, and I'm trying to get more sci-fi in my reading diet. But also on the 5th, I will be interviewing. We had to push it. We had to push it back about a week and a half. But I will be interviewing not just Benjamin Crow, who is the voice of Simon in my Unbreakable trilogy, which the second book comes out on the 7th, so 2 days later. But I will also have Kirsty Geddes, who voices Lena and all the female characters in the books. So I will have the duo with me, which is going to be amazing. They are terrific. I have already listened to More Than a God War, and I just can't wait to get it out to you. It's just perfect. So if you have any questions for narrators, want to know how they get into it, or a voiceover artist, put them down in there. Let's go, right? And then I will be reading Stephen King's Pet Sematary. This has been a long time coming. My wife has multiple copies of this book. We just haven't got around to reading it yet. And because I kind of want to start kind of doing a thing maybe once a month where me and my wife read a book together. And I've been meaning, I put Pet Sematary on my list like a year ago, and I just for some reason just couldn't get to it. But it will happen in October. I wanted to at least get another kind of spooky, scary horror book in for October. And again, I just couldn't do a lot. So definitely it's going to happen. Guarantee it. Pet Sematary, mark it down. And then, as I said a little bit earlier, my book, More Than a God War, will be released on October 7th. You can pre-order the ebook now. Amazon's weird. Doesn't let me set pre-orders for my paperback or hardcover, but they will be available in that. And I will be trying to launch the audiobook on launch day on October 7th. So if you are into audiobooks, you will love More Than a God War. No book is perfect, right? So some of the things that people were like, man, I love this about More Than a Vampire, but some of this I could have been better. It's not necessarily that because I already had pretty much it planned out, but it just turns out that most of what everyone loved about More Than a Vampire is turned up in More Than a God War, and some of the things that some people thought detracted in More Than a Vampire are pretty much out of it. So it's just going to be really my the best book I have ever written. So I am just super pumped for anybody who's read More Than a Vampire. I can't wait to get your feedback and see what you think of the newest book. But that is all for now. If I have some more updates for you, maybe some interviews, I will let you guys know in the future videos. But thank you so much. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all that good stuff for the algorithm. Check out my Patreon if you want to support the channel and my writing. And remember, be more than human.